Hello, everyone. My name is Ehab Abu-Samra. By a brief introduction, I am a BIM manager at Yusuf Maroon Contracting Company located in Saudi Arabia. I have more than 10 years experience in the BIM field. Today, we'll be talking on a topic which is effective information management throughout the project lifecycle. I'm glad to be here with you in the BIM Coordinators Summit 2024. I would like to remind myself and all of us why data is important, because data by itself is useless. Data is only useful when we apply it. Let's go to know what best practices for the effective information management throughout the project lifecycle. So our agenda will be a brief introduction about the information management and going through the different project phases to apply this effective information management. So beginning with what is the information management, it is ensuring that we have the right information to the right person or the right individual at the right time to meet a specific purpose to have an informed decision. Information interfaces with many, beginning with the people who generate the requirements for the information and people who will be generating this information by using a technology like software and of course, in a business procedure, specific protocol, specific workflow, giving the data about the assets or the information needed for the assets for the operation and maintenance in a specific milestones or a defined milestone to take an informed decision. Talking about the information management, we must understand the interface between parties and teams. So beginning with the appointing party, which is the client and his teams. And then the appointment is done. They might be lead appointed party or different lead appointed parties, which are main contractors or the client's project management architects, which are responsible for the information deliverables. And then the appointed party, which are subcontractors, the specialists, which are mainly the task teams who are generating the information. We have four main information requirements according to ISO 19650 to achieving our two deliverables for the project, beginning with the project information model, which is the model from the design phase until the construction phase, and the asset information model, which have the information about the assets. So beginning with our level information requirements, we have organizational information requirements, which is the information requirements for each organization. It might be a small organization or big organization having many projects. They will be putting their strategies, their assets, their different project information needed. And for each project, we'll be having project information requirements, which are documents needed in this project formats, milestones, defined milestones, etc. And of course, asset information requirements for the project, which information we need for the managing our assets in the operational maintenance stage. And then will be at each appointment, there will be exchange information requirements regarding the information required at each appointment. So our aim is to have effective information management process. So we have two main actors in the information management process, which are the information receiver and the information provider. Each information must have a specific purpose for it. Assuming that we have a commercial project and we need lead certificate in this project, we'll be setting our requirements such as design calculation, energy consumption, and we'll be sending this requirements and purpose for the lead appointed party or the information provider to generate this information. So they will be generating these calculations and documents needed, knowing about the purpose needed in this stage, and after verifying this information, the action is fulfilled. So it's all about setting the clear communication and clear purpose for all stakeholders to understand the need of this information. And of course, all of this will be managed in the common data environment. All the projects start with clear definition about the information needed by the appointing party. What are the standards, method, and process, and deadlines and protocols that will be governing the production and review for this information? Once these are defined, it will be followed by series of appointments until the project closeouts. Throughout the project lifecycle, we'll be having two main actors, which are the appointing party and the lead appointed party. We have five main stages in the project life cycle, which beginning with the assessment and need stage, which is the first stage. and the most important stage for effective information management, followed by the procurement stage, and then we are ready to go to the planning stage after the procurement and information production. The main actor in this stage will be the task team, having effective communication and collaboration between different stakeholders, and of course, then we are ready to close out and hand over. Beginning with the assessment and needs stage, it is regarded the most important stage in the information management because it is a foundation for all subsequent information management processes and decisions throughout the project. So the appointing party is responsible for identifying and engaging with other stakeholders to undertake the information management function in respect of the project. It is essential for the individuals performing the information management function have the necessary knowledge and skills because mistakes and oversights at this stage can have cascading impacts throughout the project lifecycle. So the key functions of this stage are set of documents and information requirements must be defined, beginning with appointing the information management function, who is responsible for taking the information at each stage, establishing, of course, the project information requirements, documents, formats, dates, etc., and defining the project milestones for each stage, establishing the information standards, procedures, and protocols, and establishing reference information and shared resources, and of course, choosing and establishing the common data environment for managing all of this information. So, given the complexity of this stage, we will be having several challenges, such as the client awareness. Technology is evolving, as we know, so the client must stay up to date to this evolving technology. You must know the benefits and cost to set clear and well-defined requirements and avoid having vague requirements. And of course, establish a clear communication and transparent communication between the stakeholders. The client also must be flexible because as the project evolves, there will be changes, of course, and he must smartly choose the technology and ensure that there will be interoperability between different softwares and platforms. There must be training plan and skills development. And of course, as the technology evolves, there will be resisting to change. So there must be a strong change management plan. Concluded, setting poor information requirements, of course, will lead us to poor information delivery. So after the assessment and needs stage is done, now it's time to invite others to join our project. Beginning with developing the exchange information requirements by the client, it must be smart, which means we must have specific, achievable, and realistic and measurables and time-bound goals. And it should also answer the following questions: why we need this information, when we need this information at each stage, who will be the actor or who will be responsible for this information, what is the level of information I need at each stage, and where this information be managed. And of course, establishing the evaluation criteria for the tender response. So in the invitation to tender, after setting the exchange information requirements, the lead appointed party is expected to set the initial documents, beginning with the pre-appointment BRM execution plan, providing the details about the team who will be taking the information management, what strategy will be followed to meet our exchange information requirements, high responsibility metrics for the team, and the proposed federation segregation strategy for the models, and the proposed software and hardware and IT infrastructure for this, and of course, capability and capacity of the task team and delivery team. Risk register. At some times, there will be questionnaire about the BIM maturity of the team. So after this, the BIM execution, pre-BIM execution plan is done, it's time to go to the planning stage. So once the appointment is done, the lead appointed party is responsible for updating the pre-BIM execution plan to be post-BIM execution plan, checking that the federation strategy is aligned with the agreed project information production method and procedures, and review the project information standards, method, and procedures, and managing the delivery team will be managing the data. Also, they must clarify the roles and responsibilities for different parties and have clarity about each activities, who is responsible for it, who's accountable for it, and who needs to be consulted and who needs to be informed. And lastly, of course, we'll be having a master information delivery plan outlining when the product information will be prepared, who is responsible for producing it, and that what are the methods and protocols and procedures followed at each stage. Generally, a master information plan is segregated from various task information delivery plans from different teams. So generally, we'll have one master information delivery plan, including all the information deliverables of the project with defined dates. Then comes the shift to go to the project and mobilizing the resources, beginning with the human resources and the training and education for the team, and then going to the technology, checking the interoperability between the softwares and checking the hardware is sufficient, checking the common data environment, and then testing the production method and procedures. We must validate the proposed information container breakdown structure and refine it if necessary. Communicate the asset information methods and procedures to all task teams. And lastly, of course, we'll be maintaining these resources, either human and IT resources, to be ready for all trigger events with the appointment. After this stage, we are ready to produce the information. So at this stage, collaborative information production is needed because effective communication is the keystone that propels the project towards success. At this stage, the main actor will be the task team, as we said. So the task team must ensure that the information is produced following the project standards and complying to the exchange of information requirements. Because our target is to reduce the information waste, there must be transparent communication between the stakeholders. They must be strict following to the level of information needed, not giving much information or less than the information needed, because we're aiming to reduce the information waste. They will be undertaking quality assurance check and quality control. They must understand the information flows between the container, beginning with the work in progress container. Of course, each team will be working in silos. And then after approving by the task team leader, it will be internally shared between the team for coordination and complying with the BIM execution plan. And then after authorizing this information, they will be sent for review and approval by the authorized reviewer. Once approved, this information can be published and spread among project teams. And of course, all of this data will be archived for historical information about the project and lessons learned to be used in the future projects. Now the project information model is ready for the delivery. So we must ensure that all the information is put correctly, because in the closeout and handover stage, we must understand that the closeout always begins the day the project starts. We must ensure that the information is put correctly for the operation and maintenance team to perform the job easily. So we have smooth transition from construction to facility management. We must have the existing condition of the buildings and the infrastructure. Commonly, we use Kubi requirements, where information is all pulled in one format. No classification, no certain classification is commonly used. It is always defined by the appointing party which classification he might use, and defined in the start of the job in the exchange information requirements. Commonly, we use the UniClass format, which consists of 12 tables, or OmniClass format, which consists of 15 tables. As in the example, you can see many attributes filled in different phases of the project. And at the end, we collect the lessons learned to share them with the appointing party for the future projects. So to conclude this effective information management, our key points for success is having a strong assessment and need stage with clear defined information requirements, clear defined objectives and goals for each information requirements, what we need in it. And of course, collaboration and communication between stakeholders is the key that drives any project to success, because at the end we have certain vision which needs to be reality. So thanks to the BIM Coordinator Summit for this event. I'm glad to be here with you today, and we'll be happy to answer all your questions. And you can contact me directly on my LinkedIn for any further questions. Thank you very much.